Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is episode 6 of our IVF journey series. It is Monday the 16th of September and it's embryo transfer day. We're finally here. So we are going to the fertility clinic at 10:30 this morning. They'll be doing a scan first because there was fluid behind my ovaries and they were concerned about the Ovarian Hyper Stimulation Syndrome. I believe I had a mild case of it. So they need to check the fluid, and then it's kind of a combination between that and my symptoms as to whether they will actually do the embryo transfer. I'm feeling pretty positive, like I don't have any symptoms now. It took me a few days to recover from the egg collection procedure. I was actually in pain for a few days. I was taking paracetamol every 4 hours, but it was wearing off before the 4 hours. And I had no appetite, I had no energy, like to lean over and pick up a dog toy from the floor. You will not believe how long it took me to do that. I didn't want to leave home and go anywhere. I would walk up and down because when I'm on the phone, I'm a pacer. So if I'm on the phone to the clinic to talk about my symptoms, I'm pacing. But every now and again, I would lean over like this because I was in pain. So that was on, so the egg collection was on Wednesday, and then the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was in pain. And then yesterday was Sunday and I was literally back to my normal self. No pain whatsoever, didn't have to take any paracetamol. My appetite was back and I ate a ton yesterday. I was just back to my normal self, and today is the same. So fingers crossed, everything is going to be positive today and we will get our embryo transfer. So as for the embryos, the egg collection was on Wednesday and they collected 21 eggs. We got a phone call the following day, which was the Thursday. And they told us that out of those 21 eggs, 14 were mature and 7 of them fertilised. So basically 7 embryos. We didn't get any communication on Friday, but we got a message in the online portal on the Saturday, which was saying that out of those 7 embryos, there were 5 that were at where they needed to be, which was to have at least 6 cells. And the quality was good/reasonable. So we didn't get any update yesterday, which was Sunday. So today when we go in, they will discuss out of those 5 embryos, how many are remaining, how many could be frozen, are they going to transfer 1 or 2, all of that jazz. So it's very exciting. I did just want to say, I don't have to do any injections anymore. All that medication has stopped, thank goodness. But what I have been having to do for the last few days is using the medication called Cyclogest, which is 400 milligrams. It's basically a white bullet that feels like a candle. It feels like candle wax. That's how best I think I can explain it. It's basically progesterone, and I have to insert the progesterone bullet in the morning and in the evening. So twice a day. You can either do it vaginally or up your bottom. I chose vaginally because it's kind of like a tampon without an applicator. And if you've ever used one of those, like, it's kind of weird, but I use tampons when I'm on my period anyway, so it made more sense for me to do that. However, this morning I was not allowed to put it up vaginally because of the embryo transfer. So they did say to me this morning that I would have to put it up my bottom, but this evening I could go back to vaginally again. So that was an experience. I also have IBS, so I'm gonna leave that there. So this is the box of the bullets, I'm calling them. And this is what it looks like. So I'll open one so that you can see. So this is what it looks like. It's small, it's not wide. I mean, it's tiny in comparison to an actual tampon, but it does leak. So you end up having this white gunk just leaking out of you. So for me, I'd insert it and then within like 15 minutes, it was leaking out of me, but I would clean myself up and then it wouldn't leak again. So it's not like you're constantly leaking for hours on end. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, if you're wondering where James is, he is at work, but he's going to be pulling away from work and meeting me at the clinic. So he will be coming with me. So I'm going to tidy up the dog's toys that she has left all over the floor. And then I'm going to leave. See you in a bit. Oh my goodness, I have just parked up at the fertility clinic and what a nightmare. So I have IBS, and out of all of the appointments we've had at the clinic, they've all been fine. My tummy has been fine. And then today, which is one of the most important appointments, my tummy was playing up. I left home, got to my car and was like, I think I need to go back in and go to the toilet. So I literally bought a bag of spare clothes in case I had an accident, a you know what accident on the way. But I'm here. I'm fine. I didn't have to change. James has actually just parked up next to me because he left work to meet me here. So we've actually got here at the same time, which is bizarre. So I'm going to take my bottle of water, finish this off so that I can have a bit more of a full bladder, and I will let you know how it goes. Like, I'll try and film in there if I can, but yeah, let's go in. So just a quick update, we are in the waiting area, waiting to be called through. I think I have drunk too much water because my bladder is too full and I'm struggling to not wee myself, so, but I'm hoping to be called through soon. That was awkward, someone who works at COVID. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay, so we've just been called into a room and they said out of the 5 embryos that were good, there are 4 that are still good. So they're only going to transfer 1, which is a grade A, and then the other 3 will be frozen. I've had an ultrasound instead of an internal exam to check the fluid behind my ovaries, and there is still a little bit left. So they're going to go and speak to the doctor, but fingers crossed the doctor says, it's a little bit, it's fine, she can have the transfer today. So fingers crossed we can have the transfer.
Hey.
Hello.
You'll just see the catheter now coming into the room. Right, good luck, little embryo. Yay! Did you see that little flash there?
Did you see flash?
No.
Oh, you'll be able to rewind it. So, see that bright little echo there?
Do you need him to click?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that bright little echo there, that's the little bit of fluid that the embryo's gone back in.
now.
I'm just allowing 20 seconds just to let the embryo drift from the tip of the catheter. And then what I'm going to do is remove the catheter.
Yeah. Hi everyone, so I am now back home. I was only at the clinic for like an hour. They took me in to do a scan, but instead of doing an internal scan like they have done before, they did an ultrasound because they'd still be able to see the fluid behind my ovaries anyway. And their concern was that even if there was still fluid in there, once you're pregnant, your body produces HCG. So where I have this Ovarian Hyper Stimulation Syndrome, what would happen is the HCG would basically just trigger another hyperstimulation, and that's where I could end up in hospital with drains being put in. And they obviously don't want that to happen. I obviously don't want that to happen, but there's nothing that anybody can do to actually stop it. So it's just a physiological response. But they did the scan and they were like, actually, your ovaries are not swimming in fluid. There is a tiny amount of fluid, but not as much as there was before. So she went up to the doctor to get their opinion on whether they're happy to go ahead with the transfer. And thank goodness she came back down and walked in the room and I was like, and she was like, the doctor said we are good to go with the transfer, but obviously we cannot guarantee that you're not gonna end up having another sort of surge of the hyperstimulation and all the problems that we had discussed. We ended up being able to go ahead with the transfer, and it has to be done on a full bladder, I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think it's because when you have a full bladder, it tilts your uterus forwards, so it makes it easier for them to do the transfer. So that was interesting. It was honestly literally like having a smear test, the same thing that they use where they put it in and then open it up. If you've had a smear test, you'll know what I mean. It's exactly the same thing, but obviously it's just longer than having a smear test done, which is pretty quick. This was a bit more of a longer process. So my cervix was being annoying. They said to think of a cervix as kind of like the size of an avocado. That's what mine looked like anyway. but I almost had like a kink in it and there was like a bend and they had to get round the bend with the catheter. Who knew there were more than one type of catheter? I didn't. There were 3 different types of catheters that she had to use, and it was the 3rd one that managed to get around the bend. But then they took a picture, so let me just show you the picture. So this is the picture, and this round avocado shaped thingy is my uterus, and then inside the avocado is like pale white. Please tell me you can see that. That is the fluid that the embryo is in. They also said that whilst there's nothing anybody can do to stop the hyperstimulation thing, they couldn't stress enough how important it was that I drink like 2 litres of fluid a day. They actually recommended things like the Lucasade sport drinks because they have electrolytes in them and something about replacing the salt in my body. Honestly, don't quote me on this because I just know they said something about salt in my body. And then they were talking about protein diet like eggs, but I actually have to avoid eggs because of my IBS, but I'm sure there are other things that I can eat instead. I need to take a pregnancy test on Sunday the 29th of September, and it needs to be on that exact day, which is what the fertility clinic told me. So that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.